What's up everybody, it's Seth from Fowler Customs, and today I'm reviewing the brand new 2017 Adidas Pure Boost. Thanks so much for tuning in today guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, but with all that out of the way, let's get into it. So today Adidas released the 2017 version of the Pure Boost. And I've got to say, I really love this shoe. The Pure Boosts in the past were mainly only lifestyle silhouettes, but this time around they changed the focus of the shoe and made it more of a performance running shoe, which to be honest, I prefer. But before we get into the review itself, let's take a look at the box. So here it is, nothing special, your standard Ultra Boost, or I guess now just Boost box. Of course, as you already know, this is the Pure Boost, the 2017 version. However, even though it's a pretty different shoe than the previous Pure Boost, they're not calling it anything different like the Pure Boost 2017 or anything like that. It's just the Pure Boost. I got the black and burgundy colorway mainly because it was the only colorway they actually had in the store, even though all the other stores that were releasing them were releasing the black and white versions. I'm actually glad that I only had the option to get the black and burgundy version because I like them so much more in person. And even though I dig those black and white versions, they just remind me so much of those light up fake Yeezys that you see at the mall. I just can't shake it. They just look just like that shoe. I got a size 9, my true size, and I will say this, I tried both an 8.5 and a 9 on just to see how the fit would be, and the 8.5 definitely was a little bit more snug, so it fit a little bit better, but the 9 just gave me a little bit of extra room, and I kind of like more room in my shoes, so that's why I went with the size 9. But if you prefer a closer fit, you might want to try going half a size down. An obvious but good rule of thumb is always try the shoe on if you have the opportunity, just to make sure that it's the right fit for you. But finally moving into the shoe, here it is, the 2017 Pure Boost. At first glance, this kind of looks like a Yeezy mixed with an Ultra Boost, which is a pretty interesting look. I really like the way Adidas streamlined the silhouette from the previous version. I think it makes it look a lot more clean. Adidas has really got a good thing going with these knit uppers and this sort of streamlined to a point design. I think it looks great, and it's sort of this urban, modern look that you don't get with a lot of other brands. Nike! Got a cough, sorry guys. So on this Pure Boost, Adidas used circle knit for the upper, which is very similar to prime knit, except it's a little bit stiffer and you get a bit more rigidity. That's one of the reasons why they didn't have to use a cage on this shoe. One thing I noticed when wearing the shoe is that compared to an Ultra Boost, it's not that stretchy. I mean, it's got some give, but it's not as stretchy as prime knit, but it is just as breathable, which is nice. On all the 2017 Pure Boost models that have been announced thus far, they all have this sort of digi-camo look, which is something Adidas has been doing on pretty much all their knit uppers. Of course, they all have a slightly different pattern, but it's pretty much the same thing. With that being said, I still think it's a great look, and I actually haven't gotten sick of it yet. On this colorway in particular, I really love the subtlety between the grays and the blacks. It's actually almost the exact same color scheme as the Pirate Black Yeezy 350s. It's also got almost the exact same rope laces too. Of course, because there's no cage, they printed the Adidas 3 stripes branding on the side. One thing that I think most people don't know about or don't expect when they get the shoe is that even though this kind of looks like a normal one booty construction upper, it's actually a little bit different. And by different, I mean it's actually a burrito wrapped upper, or that's what Adidas is calling it. And what that means is that it's actually this giant tongue that folds back on itself. And the reason that Adidas said that they did that is so that the user can get a more customizable fit. I don't really know how helpful that'll actually be for the fit of the shoe, but in the time that I've worn it, I haven't actually had any problems with it, so it doesn't really help me in particular, but it doesn't hurt. While we're talking about adjustable fit, Adidas actually gave you one extra lace loop on both sides of the shoe, so if you really feel like you need more lockdown in your heel while you're running, you can do that. Inside the shoe, you've got the same insole that you've got in all the other NMDs, which isn't really much. It's this really thin layer of almost felt-like material. This is the one thing I don't really love about the shoe. I kind of wish they had given you an insole, because you can definitely feel that there isn't one there. I just feel like the shoe could have benefited from that little extra bit of padding, especially for lifestyle wear. I don't really know about running, but for me personally, I found after the day of walking around, I still kind of preferred the fit of my Ultra Boost. They do give you an adequate amount of heel padding. It's definitely not as much as the Ultra Boost gives you, but this technically is a less premium shoe. Moving back to the outside of the shoe, you've got these TPU heel counters. I'm not sure why they made it a lump and not the regular heel counter they have in the Ultra Boost, but I don't hate it. It also provides an opportunity for a nice hit of color. Moving to the back of the shoe, you don't have a pull tab, but you do have these little accents of gold stitching. Maybe not gold so much as like a cream yellow or like a I don't know, like a piss color. Let's go with like a creamy yellow. Moving down the shoe, you've got that infamous boost technology, which has kind of ruined all other shoes for me. Adidas does give you a lot of boost, hence the name Pure Boost, but they do definitely give you less than you get on the Ultra Boost, and that's one of the reasons why I think this shoe is a little bit less comfortable than the Ultra Boost. Although the heel of the shoe is very similar to the Ultra Boost in that it's very soft and cushiony, the forefoot of the shoe has a lot less boost and is more about ground feel and stability. Not only that, but Adidas also made the forefoot of the shoe a lot wider than it is on the Ultra Boost. It's actually got almost the exact same forefoot width as the Yeezy 350 V2s. See what I'm saying? Another interesting thing about the Boost midsole on this shoe is that on the medial side, the actual webbed outsole wraps up onto the arch of the shoe, which is something I haven't seen them do with the webbed outsole on other models. It's supposed to provide extra arch support for the shoe. Not something I noticed a whole lot, but it didn't hurt. And finally, moving to the outsole of the shoe, you've got the same webbed pattern that you find on the other Ultra Boosts. However, they did not use Continental rubber on this shoe. I don't know if that's gonna make a difference in the long run durability-wise, but I feel like the reason that they did that is that the shoe is more of a budget model and they didn't want to have to pay royalties to Continental for using their materials. Overall, I've really fallen in love with this shoe. You do get some material trade-offs for the cost, but I still think it's definitely worth buying the shoe. I have to admit, it's not as comfortable as the Ultra Boost, but it's still a very comfortable model and absolutely more comfortable than the NMD. I'm really excited to see what Adidas does with this model moving forward, and this is definitely going to become my everyday running, training, just casual wear shoe. This is a dope shoe. Now that we've got the review out of the way, let's put these guys on feet and see how they look. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of the brand new Adidas Pure Boost and if you're planning to grab a pair for yourself. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to Fowler Customs if you want to see more content just like this, and follow Fowler Customs on Instagram and on Twitter.